Hey, I'm Eric. I'm listening to 100 albums in 100 days. For all the details on what I'm doing and why, check out the video pinned to my profile. Today, I listened to the 1990 album Bellybutton from the band Jellyfish. I had never heard these guys. This album was added to the list on a suggestion of a friend. 53-year-old me wishes 20-year-old Eric had heard this album in 1990. This album is fantastic. I do know why I missed it in 90 because I was wrapped up in hair bands and heavy metal and all that stuff. I am genuinely sad that I missed this album in 1990. These guys are completely antithetical to anything that was playing at the time. Like I just said, the hair metal and heavy metal was reaching its peak, getting ready to bust, and grunge was on its way up, and these guys fit into neither one of those categories. I read an article about them this afternoon, and one of them said, there's two guys that are the two main songwriters, and I can't remember their names, but one of them said that one of the labels they were talking to when they were shopping their demo around was trying to get them to change their sound a little bit to be more grungy, and they just walked right out of the meeting. They firmly believed in themselves and their sound and knew that they were not fitting into anything that was out there at the time, and still pressed on with how they sound. If I had heard this in 1990, I probably would have fell in love with it then too. I connected with just about every song on this album. My favorites are "That Is Why," and then the last two tracks on the album, "Baby's Coming Back" and "Calling Sarah." Those last two tracks, when I heard them, made me load up their second album, which is called "Spilt Milk," and listen to it. That's how much I liked this album. Now you have to be in the right mood or frame of mind to listen to it. This is not an album, at least in my opinion, this is not an album you just throw on a road trip and listen to. It's a little melancholy at times. It's a little moody at times. So you have to be in the right frame of mind, the right mood for this. And apparently I was today, because I became a huge Jellyfish fan by the end of this afternoon. So, and they remind me, well, they don't remind me, I can hear their influence in another band that I fell in love with in the early 2000s, a band out of Dallas, Texas, called Sugar Bomb, who had one CD and then just disappeared. I can hear Jellyfish in what those guys put out in the early 2000s. For me, that just added to my love for this CD or this album. So if you're a Jellyfish fan, or you were a Jellyfish fan in the 90s, let me know what you think of this album. I would suggest you listen to this album. I think it's fantastic. The production is amazing. Their vocals are especially the harmonies. Some of the harmonies are very Beatlesque and they're very tight. I love the lead singer's voice. I just love the production as a whole. The whole album just sounds crisp and tight, and it just adds to each of the songs. Which I'm sure you've heard songs where the production just takes away from the song, or just keeps, just affects the song adversely, and none of that happened here. So I would recommend listening to the album at least once. Anyway, if you're a Jellyfish fan or were a Jellyfish fan, let me know what you think. If you venture a listen for this album, let me know your thoughts.